What we're going to do to close, and this won't take too much time, so please hang on if you can. I'm going to ask Kathy McCarthy, who provided opening remarks, to provide closing remarks, and also want to give both Andrew and Jim sort of a little time just to state what the FIA and ETEC plan to do going forward. So Kathy, hopefully I've given you a couple of seconds to gather all your thoughts, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eric, and time to unmute too, and everything seems to be working now. So first of all, what I want to say, it is really exciting to see the private investment in fusion. I think one of the things that's really important for fusion is that there are parallel paths being pursued, different confinement concepts. Some are tokamak based, some are not. The reason why I think that that's important is each of the options has challenges associated with it. Pursuit of the different options gives us an opportunity to figure out which challenges can we actually solve, because some will fail. That's the nature of this sort of business. So I do think that this is important. Now, in order to really get to a practical fusion, energy, there's going to have to be investment in the technology side. So for the most part, what's being looked at is confinement, the physics part, the core. But it goes beyond that. In order to look at practical fusion energy, we need to have, for example, materials that can withstand extreme environments. Now, this goes to, for example, reliability. If you have to do a lot of change out of your first wall or whatever the component happens to be in your fusion confinement concept, that then impacts reliability, that impacts economics. Similarly, it's important to have a sustainable fuel cycle. That has to be looked at as well. That also is important from an economics perspective. And so all of these things need to be looked at. And I really do think that public-private partnerships, they are key to doing this. Public-private partnerships are key to accelerating fusion energy, accelerating the deployment of fusion energy. And we have to make sure that we're looking at all the different pieces that go together to make practical fusion energy. And I think that the conversation today has been just a really great start.
Excellent. Thank you, Kathy. Andrew, are you still connected with us?
There. Now I'm unmuted. I'm
all right.
Thank you.
So what's FIA going to do going forward?
Well, I'm
Continue.
I'm pretty busy and I've got a lot of stuff to do. In fact, I had to duck out here between panels to go talk to congressional staff about what's going on, and so I'm happy to be back. And I caught the tail end of that panel, and I wish I'd been able to be a part of it throughout. The key things that I'd say for people on the call who've made it through this long, if you've been with us all day, you care about fusion and you care about seeing clean, safe, sustainable, secure fusion energy put on the grid. The key things going forward are, as Tim said at the end of that last panel, enabling greater public-private partnerships here, greater investment, both of federal dollars, of private dollars, of all sorts, into developing this, into the science, into, not just into our companies. Of course, my primary focus here is driving those partnerships into the FIA members, but also into the scientific facilities that DOE National Labs runs. If you care about fusion, you should be supporting a broader and more inclusive fusion budget that supports all of this. The community planning process that Matt talked about during our panel was really a remarkable time to show how the unity of the fusion community and everything to go forward in it. And Oak Ridge is one of these nascent sort of fusion hubs that I like to talk about in the country. We probably have 3 or 4 regions in the United States that could emerge as the Detroit of the 21st century fusion economy, and I think that Detroit of the 1900s for the Motor City, not Detroit of today, unfortunately. So if you care about this, you should be talking to people about it, especially talking to policymakers. That's my takeaway. That's what I have to be doing most of my time. And that's what I'd encourage, supporters, stakeholders here. It's talking to policymakers, getting it in the infrastructure bill, getting it in appropriations, getting this pushed forward, and just show your support and show how much you care by talking to people about it.
Very good. Thank you, Andrew, for that charge and for all you're doing with the FIA. Jim, you want to wrap it up from ETEC's perspective?
So I started this meeting by talking about Project Sherwood, which was a classified program of the Atomic Energy Agency way back in the 1950s to create a fusion energy industry worldwide. What I've heard through all of today is we're closer than we think to creating that fusion economy. Andrew's industry panel was really great. I really appreciate all that, as well as the panelists on research and development. Great content throughout the day. What I will end on is a vision we have here in Oak Ridge to make our federal facilities and maybe our entire community carbon net zero over the next generation. To do that, we're going to have to deploy technologies like we've talked about today. And we have to work with our utilities, and we have to work with our public sector, local governments, and state governments to make that all happen. I guess I'm charged up as we end this about going to work tomorrow to figure out how we get to those kind of goals. We appreciate your attendance. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Eric.
Thank you, Jim. Well, I want to thank our sponsors once again, the U.S. ITER project, Oak Ridge National Laboratory, and the University of Tennessee Department of Nuclear Engineering. I want to thank all of our speakers, our panelists, our moderators. Excellent content, excellent discussion all afternoon long. So really appreciate all the preparation and time that went into preparing such a robust meeting. And I want to thank the attendees who have been with us for the bulk of the session. So thank you all very much, and we are adjourned. Have a good rest of your day.